Hey everyone, MJS back again. I want to talk a little bit about personal branding. So what do I mean by that? I'm not sure if a lot of people really understand what that is. You actually probably do. You definitely understand the concept, whether or not you know, whether or not you think you do. But I'll try to add a little bit of context and exactly sort of like my view of it and what I've kind of learned from other people and all that sort of stuff. So where to begin? I think probably the best place to begin when it comes to personal branding is, what is a brand, right? So what do we think of when we think of brands? I think of, maybe McDonald's, BMW, Apple, right? So when you hear those, when you hear those brands, you think of certain things, right? McDonald's, you obviously think of, red and yellow and food and Happy Meals, stuff like that. Apple, you think of the iPhone, you think of the MacBook. BMW, you think of just, luxury vehicles, stuff like that. So that's a brand. And that is something that you establish over time with, different products and just having, selling to people and making them aware of your company in that sense, your values, your beliefs, your mission, just what you hold true as a company. So let's take that a step further now, and let's say, okay, well, that's what a brand is. And so what do you mean by personal brand? Well, it's the exact same thing. So Mark Joe Szymanski, like the brand of Mark Joe Szymanski, what does that mean? Hardworking, authentic, and then you obviously build in like your niches, right? So like whether it's web design or it's marketing or finance or business, whatever it is, you speak to that and you put out content and you just establish all of that around those things. And okay, so we have brand, and that is like, the actual thing that when people see that, they know what they're looking at. They know immediately that that's what this is about. And it's literally gotten to the point, obviously, with Apple, a huge company. You just see the Apple logo and you know exactly what they're all about, the iPhones, MacBooks, etc. So you do that as a person. So you could just have, whether it's like you end up having a logo that gets to that point, the same type of thing. But I'm speaking from personal experience with the experience that I have in my life, specifically in real estate. Now, I'm not a real estate agent, but I've worked closely with real estate agents for some time, and a lot of them don't really grasp this concept that well. And I want to, if you're a real estate agent, or if you're in any sort of field where similar to maybe real estate, like if you're a 1099, so you have you kind of feel like an employee in a way, but you're not. I mean, you're your own business. So maybe like anybody that works for like commission, so like an insurance broker or anybody, or especially entrepreneurs, but anybody that sort of has their own business. We'll use real estate as an example in this case though. I have real estate agents come up to me and they're like, how do I get more followers? How do I boost my social media presence? Because that's what they hear. That's what they hear all the time. And I made a video about this. I think it was one of my first videos I made, similar to this, but trying to expand on it and again, hone in on personal branding. But I get this question all the time, and I'm like, I'm baffled by it, because I just, it's almost second nature to me at this point. And there's a lot of different things, right? I mean, age has a factor, where you're at as far as like what you were accustomed to when, as you grew up with technology and stuff like that. But the question is, Mark, how do I increase my social media following, or how do I get all that stuff sort of set up, and like, what do I do to get more, more business effectively is the question. Everybody asks that question. And I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, you want to be obviously consistent. You want to have a message that aligns with what you actually do. You want to be authentic. I think that's obviously the one that everybody should go after, is just whatever you say you're going to do, you actually do. You don't lie to anybody. You don't try to trick anybody. So I understand the disconnect from a mechanical technology perspective. I guess I can understand that, right? I hope that I'm never like that, where I kind of stay up to date and I'm kind of, always adapting and learning new things and stuff like that as far as how to do things. So I understand that though. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt there. The part that I'm having a lot more trouble is, what do you mean you don't know what to say? I understand maybe you don't know how to do it. Okay, like I said. But you don't know what to say, you don't know what to put on there. That baffles me. And the reason is because it's the same exact thing as if I was just a regular lead that came up to you off the street or called you on the phone. If I had a question for you, if I had a problem, and you as a real estate agent have had that similar problem in a transaction before, or you dealt with a client that was in a similar situation, you're going to tell me what to do. You have the experience. Everybody has their own experiences and their own things to pull back from, like earlier in their career, that they can easily just say, oh yeah, this one time I had that exact same thing happen, this and that, we just changed something in the contract or something like that, whatever the case may be. And you can't underestimate the value that would bring to somebody that would be following you. Now, and the other thing too that might play into this is the fact that, okay, well, I don't have enough time, I want this to work fast. I don't really think that's possible. This stuff is not quick. Like, Apple was not established overnight. Amazon is not the huge, the complete monopoly that it is today. It didn't happen overnight. So the fact that you want it quick, that might be a little bit of a problem too. The how, again, benefit of the doubt. The what is really where I have a problem with it though. Because if you don't know what to say, how are you even a real estate agent? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's things that you just have to be confident in the fact that you are the source for things real estate. Now, of course, you're not going to know everything. That's totally understandable. But there's a ton of things. If you just sat down for like 5 minutes, you could think of all these different things, these tips, like actual tips from experience, right? Like, not like canned content that you could pay, $50 a month for, and they just throw random stuff up on your Facebook page. Like, nobody cares about that, right? And again, it's all about authenticity. It's all about personality. The stuff that you can't buy. So I understand if you don't know how. If you don't want to learn how to work Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever, then hire somebody who knows how to do that. Hire somebody young that will just listen to you and say, hey Joe Schmo, I appreciate you working with me, helping me out here. I have all these different things that I'd like to say. Can you maybe film a video of me saying them and then post them on Instagram with this little caption that I have, that we work together through. It's really not that crazy. It's not going to take you very much time. It'll cost you some money because you got to pay somebody, but it doesn't need to be a full-time gig necessarily. I'm just saying, my recommendation would be, if you're a real estate agent or somebody in this similar position and you want to produce content, you think you need to produce content. You should. You absolutely should. But people you hear from all over the place. Hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that, social media, yada yada. If you need somebody if you want to build that personal brand and you don't know how to, right? You don't know where to start as far as how to post on Instagram and everything like that. But you've been in the game for a decent amount of time, or even if you're starting out, you're going to have value. That's the whole reason that if you're a real estate agent and you have any amount of success, then you've obviously been providing value to your customers. So extend that value onto your future customers, on your Facebook page, on your Instagram account. That's just how it all works. It's just a different medium. It's the same thing though. Instead of talking to them, they're looking at you on a screen. They're going to follow you. And then when you post those tips and they see you, they're going to recommend to your friends. They're going to follow you. And when those people see you on Facebook, they're going to say, hey, this real estate agent really knows what the heck they're talking about. I'm going to use them. You're not going to get everyone, obviously. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. This isn't an overnight thing, like I said. But that's how it works. Like, there's no secret there. That's just how it works. So, that's really all I got. You know, if you don't know how, you got to hire somebody or do something. But save the canned content. Honestly, nobody is going to look at that. Nobody is going to engage with that. You're not going to get anything from that. It needs to be authentic. It needs to be from you. It needs to have some personality, and it needs to be based on your past experiences. So that's what I got. Thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.